Have you ever been disrespected by someone and not known how to react? It's frustrating, right? But what if I told you that in just 5 minutes, you could learn how to handle that without losing your cool? Imagine this. Someone disrespects you, and instead of getting angry or upset, you stay completely calm and in control. How do you do it? Today, we're diving into 5 Stoic secrets that will change the way you handle disrespect forever. Have you ever wished you could stand up to disrespect without losing your self-respect? Well, you're in luck. This video will show you how to handle even the toughest situations with confidence and composure. Let's get started with the first Stoic secret that will transform how you handle disrespect and help you take back control without lifting a finger. Embrace the silent stare, the power of silence. You've probably found yourself in a situation where someone disrespects you, right? Maybe they interrupt you, make rude comments, or simply disregard your feelings. So, how do you deal with it without losing your cool or self-respect? One powerful strategy I want to share with you is embrace the silent stare. It may sound simple, but it's one of the most effective ways to handle disrespect. Why silence works. When faced with disrespect, you might think you need to respond, argue, or even lash out to defend yourself. But actually, a much better approach is to stay silent and maintain a calm, unshaken gaze. The reason why this works so well is because people who disrespect others often expect a reaction from you. They want you to get flustered, maybe snap back at them, or engage in their drama. But when you don't give them the reaction they're looking for, they don't know what to do. Imagine this. You're in a meeting, and someone keeps cutting you off, not giving you a chance to speak. Instead of fighting back, instead of reacting, all you do is sit back, look at them calmly, and maintain eye contact. Don't say a word, don't do anything, just look. It makes them uncomfortable. By doing this, you not only stop their disruptive behavior in the moment, but you also make them rethink how they treat you. Reclaiming your power. The silent stare isn't just about responding in the moment. It's also a statement about your self-respect. It sends a powerful message. I don't need to prove myself to you. I won't engage in your games. When you stay silent, you're not just stopping disrespect in its tracks. You're also elevating your own value in the eyes of others. The strength in silence. You may think the silent stare is just a passive technique, but in reality, it's one of the most powerful ways to protect your peace and self-respect. It's not about being quiet out of fear or submission. It's a statement of self-dignity and calm. When you know when to be silent, you'll see a noticeable change in how others treat you. Try this technique, and you'll be amazed at how effective it is. So, how can you maintain this peace and respect in your life? Let's explore the second habit in our journey of building strength in dealing with disrespect in the next part. Embrace silence as your answer, the power of silence. Have you ever found yourself in a situation where someone is being disrespectful and you feel the urge to react or respond? The natural instinct is to argue, explain yourself, or even lash out. But here's the truth. Silence is sometimes the most powerful answer you can give. It may feel uncomfortable at first, but choosing silence when faced with disrespect can be a game changer. When you choose silence, you're not just avoiding the drama, you're taking control. It's a way of telling the other person, I'm not going to engage in your negativity. Silence gives you the power to dictate the interaction without giving away your emotional energy. Think about it. When someone is rude or dismissive, what are they really looking for? A reaction. And when you don't give them one, you completely disrupt the dynamic. Why silence works. People who are disrespectful often want to provoke a reaction. They want to get under your skin and watch you squirm. They're looking for a fight, or at least a justification for their behavior. But when you choose to remain silent, it does something unexpected. It throws them off balance. They might even feel uncomfortable because they realize they're not getting the emotional response they anticipated. In fact, silence can be more powerful than words. It says, "I don't need to explain myself to you, and your disrespect doesn't affect me." It's about setting a boundary without saying anything. The absence of a response forces them to reflect on their behavior and face their own rudeness. It's a subtle yet profound way of standing your ground without escalating the situation. Reclaiming your energy. One of the best things about embracing silence is how it helps preserve your energy. When you're not constantly defending yourself or engaging in negative interactions, you free up mental space and emotional resources. This allows you to stay grounded and calm, no matter how disrespectful someone may be. Let's be real. Engaging with someone who is constantly trying to get a rise out of you is draining. You spend your time explaining yourself, justifying your actions or defending your choices, only to walk away feeling exhausted and frustrated. But when you choose silence, you're protecting your peace. You're saying, "I value my time and my energy too much to waste it on this." Silence doesn't just save your energy, it restores it. The subtle strength of silence. When you embrace silence as your answer, you're not being passive. It's not about being weak or avoiding confrontation. It's about having the strength to stay composed and unbothered. It's about showing the other person that their negativity has no power over you. It's a quiet but strong statement of self-respect. Next time someone disrespects you, instead of engaging in their drama, try this. Take a deep breath, stay calm, and choose silence. You'll be amazed at how powerful this simple act can be. It might be uncomfortable at first, but with practice, you'll start to see the benefits of protecting your peace and reclaiming your emotional energy. Now that you understand the power of silence, how can you maintain this calm in your everyday life? Let's explore another strategy for handling disrespect in the next part. Stop explaining your choices, the pressure to explain. How many times have you found yourself justifying a decision to someone? Maybe you've chosen a new career path, moved to a different city, or even decided to try a new hobby, and someone asked you, "Why did you do that?" Have you ever felt like you needed to provide a long-winded explanation to satisfy others' curiosity or concerns? The truth is, you don't owe anyone an explanation for the choices you make in your life. When people question your decisions, they're often not asking to understand, they're looking to judge. They may be trying to poke holes in your reasoning, make you second-guess yourself, or even diminish the value of your choice. But here's the reality. Your life is yours to live. You don't need to explain yourself to anyone, especially to those who don't respect your autonomy or trust your judgment. Why you don't need to explain yourself? There's a powerful sense of freedom that comes from owning your decisions. When you stop explaining your choices, you're telling the world, and more importantly yourself, that you trust your own judgment. You've made your decision based on what feels right for you, and that's enough. You don't need the approval or understanding of others to validate your choices. Think about it. How often do we feel the need to explain ourselves to others simply because we want them to agree with us? How many times do we justify our actions to avoid confrontation or to make others feel comfortable? But here's the thing. You are not responsible for making others feel comfortable with your choices. Their discomfort doesn't diminish your worth or the validity of your decisions. The power of self-respect. When you stop explaining yourself, you send a message of self-respect. You're saying, "I don't need to prove anything to anyone." This doesn't mean being dismissive or rude, but rather standing firm in your own truth. It's about recognizing that your life is your own, and you have every right to make decisions that align with your values and goals. Let's take an example. You've decided to switch careers, and suddenly everyone is asking you why you would leave a stable job. It's tempting to start explaining why you're making the switch, but remember, your reasons are valid, even if no one else understands them. Instead of diving into a long explanation, simply say, I made this choice because it's what's best for me. Keep it brief. Keep it confident. And notice how much lighter you feel when you stop over-explaining yourself. Living authentically. The more you stop explaining yourself, the more you'll feel aligned with your true self. You stop seeking validation from others and start living authentically. You don't need to convince anyone that your decisions are the right ones. You already know they are. And that confidence in yourself will naturally attract the right people, those who support and respect your choices rather than question them. So, here's my challenge for you. The next time someone questions your decision, resist the urge to provide a lengthy justification. Simply respond with a clear, confident answer and then move on. You'll be surprised at how empowering it feels to stand by your choices without needing to explain yourself. In the next part, we'll look at how you can continue to assert your self-respect and protect your peace. Stay tuned. Keep your distance. Why? Distancing yourself can be empowering. Have you ever had someone in your life who just doesn't respect your boundaries? Maybe it's a friend who constantly makes snide comments, a colleague who disregards your time, or a family member who always crosses the line. At first, you might feel guilty for distancing yourself, thinking it's harsh or cold, but in reality, sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is put some space between you and those who disrespect you. Keeping your distance doesn't mean you're being rude or cutting them out completely. It's about protecting your mental and emotional well-being. By creating some space, you give yourself the freedom to stop absorbing negativity and regain your inner peace. It's not selfish, it's self-care. Recognizing when to step back. We've all been there, sticking around people who make us feel small, drained, or frustrated, all in the name of loyalty or maintaining peace. But here's the truth. Not everyone deserves a front row seat in your life. When someone constantly disrespects you, it's not just okay to step back, it's necessary. You don't owe anyone access to your time, energy, or emotions if they aren't treating you with the respect you deserve. Think about it. When someone keeps crossing your boundaries, why would you want to keep them close? It's like inviting them into your personal space just to let them take whatever they want. Every time you let them close, you're allowing them to control how you feel. But by keeping your distance, you protect your peace and start setting the standard for how you deserve to be treated, creating healthy boundaries. Let's talk about the power of creating boundaries. Boundaries aren't about pushing people away or building walls. They're about protecting yourself. When you make the conscious decision to keep your distance from someone who disrespects you, you're setting a boundary, and that boundary is telling them, I won't tolerate this behavior. It's a way of asserting your self-worth and telling others that your time, energy, and peace are valuable. Imagine a situation where you've been repeatedly disrespected by someone you care about. Instead of confronting them directly or staying in the relationship despite the disrespect, you choose to step back. You stop answering every call, stop engaging in every conversation, and start prioritizing your own well-being. It might feel uncomfortable at first, but over time you'll realize that creating this space allows you to feel lighter, freer, and more in control of your life. The guilt of distancing yourself. One of the biggest challenges people face when they decide to distance themselves from disrespectful individuals is guilt. We're often told to forgive, to be patient, and to give second chances. But sometimes that can lead to putting ourselves in a cycle of constant emotional drainage. It's important to realize that distancing yourself doesn't mean you hate the person. It just means you value your own peace more than their negativity. This guilt may arise, especially when it's someone close to you, like a family member or a longtime friend. You might worry about what others will think, or whether the person will feel abandoned. But remember, you are not responsible for other people's emotions. You have the right to choose who you allow in your life. And sometimes, stepping away is the healthiest choice for both parties. It gives you the space you need to heal, grow, and focus on positive relationships that uplift you. A personal story of distance. I'll share a personal story to illustrate this point. There was a time when I had a friend who would always make little jabs at me, comments about my career choices, my relationships, and even my hobbies. At first, I laughed it off, thinking it was no big deal. But over time, those jabs began to sting. I started feeling exhausted after every interaction, as if I was walking on eggshells. Eventually, I realized that keeping this person in my life was draining me. So, I decided to distance myself. I didn't confront them. I didn't make a scene. I simply stopped engaging as much. Instead of meeting up every week, I gradually reduced the frequency of our interactions. You know what happened? I felt lighter. I felt freer. And as I created space for myself, I started attracting new friends who supported me and uplifted me. Protecting your peace. When you start distancing yourself from people who don't respect you, you're making a powerful statement. You respect yourself enough to protect your peace. This is not about holding grudges or being angry. It's about preserving your emotional health and making room for relationships that contribute positively to your life. Remember, it's okay to say no to people who drain your energy. It's okay to take a step back when someone crosses your boundaries. In fact, it's necessary. When you prioritize your well-being, you are setting the standard for how you want to be treated. So, don't be afraid to protect your space. Step back, create distance, and give yourself the opportunity to breathe and thrive. In the next part, we'll explore how you can continue to stand your ground and keep building self-respect. Stay tuned. Hold your head high, the power of confidence. In the face of disrespect. When you encounter disrespect, have you ever felt like shrinking back or hiding? Maybe you've been in situations where someone insults you, belittles you, or tries to make you feel small. The natural instinct might be to retreat, avoid eye contact, or slouch to make yourself smaller. But what if I told you that holding your head high can be one of the most powerful tools you have to deal with disrespect? Holding your head high isn't just a posture, it's a mindset. It's about showing the world that you are confident, unshaken, and strong. When you face disrespect, people want to see you falter. They want to see you question yourself, doubt your worth, and lose your composure. But by standing tall, with your head held high, you send a clear message that their negativity has no power over you. Standing tall in the face of adversity. Imagine you're at work or a social gathering, and someone throws a snarky comment your way. The old you might have felt the urge to respond, to defend yourself, or to get caught in the back and forth. But instead, you take a deep breath, stand tall, and keep your head high. You don't let their words or actions disturb your peace. You don't flinch or shrink in their presence. You stay grounded, composed, and strong. This simple act of holding your head high creates an invisible barrier around you. It shows that you are self-assured, that you know your worth, and that nothing they say or do will make you question yourself. People who rely on disrespect often thrive on making others feel smaller or unsure. But when you stand tall, you take away their power. You send a message that their disrespect won't define you. The silent strength of holding your head high. Have you ever noticed how confident people seem to carry themselves? They don't apologize for their presence. They walk into a room like they belong there. And when faced with negativity, they don't react. They just stand firm in their own space. You might think it's just about posture, but in reality, it's a silent declaration of self-respect. When you hold your head high, you're not just showing confidence, you're also showing respect for yourself. It's like saying, I value who I am, and I don't need validation from anyone else. And here's the secret. People who disrespect others often try to undermine that sense of self-worth. But when you refuse to let their comments affect you, it throws them off. They start to question their power over you. Imagine being in a room where someone is trying to bring you down with their words, but you refuse to let them see how their words hurt you. Instead, you hold your head high, keep your composure, and continue on with your day. It's a simple yet powerful gesture that tells them you won't be moved by their negativity. In fact, it's like a silent force field around you that repels their disrespect. Reclaiming your power through confidence. The beauty of holding your head high is that it's not just about them. It's about you. It's about owning your space and standing firm in your belief that you deserve respect. By refusing to shrink or apologize for being yourself, you assert your autonomy and protect your inner peace. When you walk through life with your head held high, you're not just showing others that they can't bring you down. You're reminding yourself of your worth. And the more you practice this, the less power disrespectful people will have over you. You'll become so secure in who you are that their negativity won't even register. You'll simply walk through life, unbothered by the judgments of others. Personal example of confidence in action. Let me share a personal story. There was a time when I used to avoid eye contact with people who were disrespectful. I'd shrink back, feeling like I had to make myself smaller just to fit into their idea of who I should be. But over time, I realized that every time I did that, I was giving away my power. So I decided to make a change. The next time someone tried to bring me down with their words, I held my head high. I stood tall, made eye contact, and simply walked away from their negativity. It felt liberating. It felt like I was taking control of my life again. And you know what? That person never tried to disrespect me again. They could see that I wasn't a target for their negativity anymore. I had reclaimed my power, and I was no longer allowing their words to affect me. The lasting impact of confidence. Holding your head high isn't just about a physical posture. It's about the mental shift that comes with it. It's about owning your worth and living your life unapologetically. And here's the beautiful thing. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. You start to walk into rooms with confidence, and you stop allowing others' negativity to affect your mood. By standing tall, you're not just asserting your strength in the moment. You're building a foundation of self-respect that will carry you through every challenge life throws at you. So, the next time someone disrespects you, don't shrink away. Hold your head high, walk confidently, and remember, you are worthy of respect, and no one can take that from you. Now that we've explored the power of confidence, let's move on to the next habit that can help you maintain your dignity in the face of disrespect. Stay tuned. We've just explored 5 effective ways to handle disrespectful people based on Stoic philosophy. From embracing the silent stare to maintaining silence as your answer, stopping the habit of explaining your choices, learning to keep your distance from those who don't deserve your time, and finally holding your head high. All of these habits are powerful tools to help you maintain self-respect and take control of your life. We all have the right to demand respect, and it starts with respecting ourselves. Remember, you deserve to be treated well, and you don't need to justify your choices. Let's continue on the journey of reclaiming peace and confidence in our lives. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Daily to stay updated with more videos. What do you think about these methods? Feel free to leave a comment below to share your thoughts and experiences. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.